Hi guys, I promised you a sample of a critical reading response. This is going to be a grade for this week, and it's something that you're going to have to do in college a lot. So I want to make sure that you feel really, really comfortable with the skill before you leave my class in June. So up here, you have what critical reading responses include: a claim or topic you want to discuss, evidence, explanation and interpretation of your thought in comparison to what the text says. You can argue with the text and you can agree with the text. My example today, I agree in my explanation. And then some sort of conclusion. I also have some comments here where I specifically point out where I do each of those things in this sample. This is a first draft, so please excuse any typos that may be coming up. But I read a book called Beartown by Fredrik Backman. It is about a small hockey town in Sweden, and the star hockey player uh, rapes the daughter of the president of the hockey club. So it's a pretty intense book. It was gave me a lot to think about. So I'm having a critical reading response with this. So I'm gonna take you through this. So I definitely want to include the name and the author somewhere in this response. But Beartown by the author is a novel that examines societal and individual reactions to allegation of sexual abuse. I'm not summarizing the book, I'm telling you what meaning I'm focusing on. This is my claim. It convicts the pack mentality and seriously questions how individuals process stories of abuse. So I'm going to talk about that idea. This requires you to think while you're reading. What is this text really asking me to think about? Is it asking me to think about um, racism in America? Is it asking you to think about feminism in modern society? What is this text really asking you to think about? You can talk about the magic of the mundane, how Jason Reynolds or David Sedaris takes something so little and makes it important. You can talk about that in either one of those pieces. Okay, so the author examines, this is where I'm going to give my evidence. I have to give an introduction statement here. The author examines how the small, self identified hockey town talks about the two children involved in the rape allegation. They're both under 18. So this is a direct quote from the book. She's 15, above the age of consent, and he's 17, but he's still the boy in every conversation, and she's the young woman. Words are not small things. I really was struck by words are not small things. That shouldn't surprise you because I'm an English teacher. Words are not small things. Most of our news conversations when we're examining race or gender in our society, we are really hyper focused on words. So I could even take this quote, this one quote, and just talk about what I think the author meant by that. So if you want to take a quote and make a claim about that quote from your reading, you can do that. I then am going to explain what I think about that. So you can read through this. It's me explaining myself, and I notice I have a lot of paragraphs. I'd rather you err on the side of too many paragraphs than too little because this is critical writing. It's you want to give your readers a break, and a paragraph is like if you're swimming across a pool, you want it to come up for air every once in a while. So I'd rather you err on the side of too many paragraphs. I have my conclusion here. And I sort of tied it back to what the text said. That's sort of a clever writing technique where you have a circular sort of structure. And so I did tie it back to my quote and end it with, and that the author is correct. Words are not small things at all. I could have even made this my claim. I could have put that up here. Uh, this is an example of a reading response. I want to see that you are critically thinking. It's not necessarily always about all about the writing, but I want to see that you are thinking about what this text means and why it's important. I don't really care if you like the text. I care that you get something from it, that you learn something from it. So I'm going to show you, I just highlighted everything I just typed. I want to show you again how to do a word count because this should be between 200 and 300 words. I haven't done a word count, so let's see what it says. I'm at 201 words. I'm one word over the 200 limit or minimum. So you do want to be between 200 and 300 words. That won't necessarily make or break your grade if you're at 198. We will be checking to see that your word count is accurate. If I do this and I highlight everything, I'm counting these words up here. I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that I can explain myself in 200 to 300 words. Okay, I hope this is helpful. You will have access to this in Schoology. I'm going to show you, it's going to be in this personal narrative reading response. The video and the link to the sample will be in this assignment right here. Come to Zoom with questions about this and we will take a look at that. Okay, happy writing.